Hi, I'm Phil.
And I'm Kate.
And this is The Underground, coming to you live from Glee 2024.
Woohoo!
So without further ado,
let's get down and dirty. So today we are delighted to be joined by Shona Young. Hello, Shona.
Hi.
Hi there,
Thank
Shona.
you. Thanks so much for taking the time. I know it's a busy day. Mm-hmm. And Shona is the CEO of Nutscene Twine. So Shona, tell us about all your products.
All of the products.
Well, what Nutscene make?
Well, Nutscene produce garden twine. We actually invented it.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, invented it.
We invented it. And when we used green twine round plants, it was not seen.
Yeah.
So we changed the name to Nutscene because that's what we patented.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now we're very much seen because we offer 23 colours of garden twine.
Yes, I use the orange.
Yeah, it's very popular. So the company's origins began in Dundee in 1922, a spin-off of the jute industry. And Nutscene produced garden twine in natural and green.
Right.
But now we've got 23 colours of jute, very sustainable product, very fashionable, ticks all the green credentials, and it's from plants for plants. So that's important.
Right.
Yeah.
So whereabouts do you source the jute from?
Okay, so our jute comes from Bangladesh. Bangladesh grow the best quality jute in the world because they get so much rain. It's actually a really sustainable crop. It's a very fast growing crop. It regenerates soil, so it can actually grow on wastelands, and it actually regenerates the soil.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it actually takes more CO2 out of the atmosphere than trees.
Really? Okay.
It's biodegradable. It's a natural fibre. It's got so many good and strong credentials. So the yarn we can't grow in this country, mind you, with the amount of rain we're getting these days. Yeah. So it's produced by farmers, and they then sell to the mills in Bangladesh. So the mill that we work with, we've worked for 20 years, and I've gone out to Bangladesh to visit the mills, and they have very strong social responsibility. They have a school on site, they have hospital on site, they have dentists, they have a fish farm, they grow vegetables. It's all very good, and it's important for us to know the origins of our the provenance, materials that we use, and we're confident then when we're selling it to customers that we know its background in full.
Amazing.
So I understand there's quite an interesting manufacturing process involved. Is that right?
In the jute, it's retted, it's spun, it goes through a number of processes before it's made into actual yarn. So we've gone through all the different processes. We've watched the yarn being produced in Bangladesh.
Right.
When we receive it to us, it is actually yarn. So we then wind it on our machines. Our machines were built. The winding machines were built in America in the early 1900s. And we have two machines that were built in Manchester in the early 1900s. Now, there are none working machines in existence now.
Right.
Apart from what we've got. The rest of them, I think, are museum pieces.
Oh,
so
goodness.
there were William Ayrton balling machines, and we run them in our factory every single day.
Wow. So the upkeep of those must be quite something.
They're very basic mechanical machines. They work with gears. They're all imperial measurements.
Right.
And we kind of like the sound of them. And I look at the winding machines, to me, remind me when my son was young and I used to read him Thomas the Tank Engine and the troublesome trucks. So the machines can be troublesome. They're like us, they're maybe not ready to start in the morning. They need to be, tempered, they need to be looked after. So, but we love them and we love the sound that they make. It's very much like a train running.
Okay.
And how does the dyeing process work? Are there natural dyes?
No, they're not natural dyes. They're reactive dyes. So that's what's used for yarn and textiles. And they all comply with REACH standards.
Okay. I suppose you can't really use natural dyes with an outdoor product, can you?
No. And the colours will fade in natural sunlight, but there's no UV inhibitors in them. There's no chemicals in them that stop that happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so how on earth did you become involved? Because obviously it's an old company. You're not that old.
No. Well, as I like to say to people, I started in Nutscene when I was 10, but I joined the company when I was 25. And I came to my first Glee when I was 26.
Oh, really?
Right.
Oh, wow.
And the first thing that hit me when I went into work was the smell of the jute.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't from Dundee, and
Right.
I didn't know what jute was.
No.
And there was a typewriter on my desk that, you know, I've still got now. I mean, it's so old.
Right.
But it was just something about the company. It's almost like I'm not the founder, but I'm the founder keeper.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
And it's something that got under my skin, and I am very protective of my brand, the company, and really wanted to build this brand. We used to make twine for everyone. We used to
Really?
make twine for all the big companies, but it was in their label,
Right.
not in ours.
Okay. So you said that the company's over 100 years old, which is, you know, pretty impressive. Has any of the processes changed over those 100 years, do you think?
Well, we've gotten a wee bit computerised now.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. I think we like to be involved in production. We like to make things. I think too many people don't do that anymore. And I think for us, it's important for our customers. They like the fact that we are UK produced product.
Yes.
Right.
Our export market is very strong. So we do about 60% of our turnover is export.
Right.
Who's your biggest country that you export to?
Japan, USA,
really?
South
Goodness.
Korea, all over Europe, all over the world, really. So Australia, New Zealand, Germany is a big... Germans love our products.
Yeah.
And is the UK quite a big market?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That is the big
Yeah.
market. Okay. Ah.
So what's the what's sort of challenges have you had since since the B word in exporting? Has it been tricky, or has it not been too bad?
Initially tricky. I think we've grasped it with open arms in terms of we've invested in software which enables us to produce all our documentation.
Okay.
And we work very closely with the haulage companies to make sure, and that they've kind of led our hand and helped us, support us through that. I think initially people were frightened, you know, other companies in Europe were frightened to import from the UK
Yes, yeah.
because of the difficulties, but we've made it fairly straightforward for them.
Yeah.
So that's worked for us.
So let's get on to Glee. We're here at Glee. It's the second day. Now, you said you came to Glee a long time ago. Has Nutscene always been showing at Glee, or is it relatively new?
We were under different ownership over the years.
Oh, okay.
So, but the transition in Glee, you know, what we've witnessed over the years from my first time that I got a flight down to Birmingham, which cost something like £400
Right.
back in the day.
Wow.
And I think it was British Midlands you had to
Was
fly
that from
with.
Dundee?
That was from Edinburgh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was so expensive then to fly.
Goodness me.
And it was just a different world for me to come in and see this. And the people that I've met over the years, be them competitors, suppliers, customers, I've seen a lot of people today that I haven't seen for a long time.
That's great.
Which is nice because we haven't been here since 2017.
Okay.
Okay, so it is your first show for a little while then.
What was it that attracted you to come back?
I just the timing of the show, I think for us is a better. Yes. I think it's difficult for small businesses to do shows because if you're on your own, it's hard to try and cover all the bases.
Yep.
I've actually brought one of the directors out of retirement to come and help. So, but she's enjoyed it. And I just felt ready, that the brand was ready to show itself again after an absence, and the response has been phenomenal.
Oh, that's great. I was going to ask
for
you.
us, I think we've got a show-stopping stand. It's what we aim to do. Of course. You know, we've taken a fairly basic product and made it very desirable.
Yes,
and I think that's
absolutely
important.
have.
Well, I think your colour palette really lends itself to that, doesn't it? And I've seen the stand. I went on the stand earlier, and it really does look quite stunning.
It's interesting, Phil, that a few years ago we were up for an Exporters Award in Dundee, and it was the Dundee Courier, which is a very famous newspaper. You know, Dundee is home of jute, jam and journalism.
Right.
So we were up against Glaxo for top exporter. Not much chance. Yes.
Yeah.
And we went to those awards, and the judges came and scrutinised before the award ceremony. And I remember one of the judges saying to me, how do you come up with the ideas for your product, for the colours? And I said to her jokingly, but I meant it, I watched a lot of episodes of Blue Peter when I was growing up. That's a fact.
Absolutely,
That's
I can
brilliant.
see that, yeah.
I was also a punk rocker, and that influences me very much in a lot of the stuff
Your
that I
visual.
do. Yeah, the colours and things.
The colours are just so bright and bold, not what you would traditionally associate with gardening.
No,
and that's
not at all.
what I think is really got everybody excited.
And do you know what it does as well? It makes people smile.
Yeah.
And we know that from Chelsea, because when our stand's ready at Chelsea and people come in, when they walk past, they stop and they smile. And a lot of people who stop here to look don't necessarily have any intention to come to us to buy a product, but it's enough to stop them in their tracks and say, wow, what is this? I need this.
Yeah. And they'll go and buy it in the garden centre.
Yeah.
And if they're not a buyer for here, they'll remember and they'll, I want some of that twine. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So have you had a chance to look round the rest of the show yet?
Yes, I have. And actually, because during COVID, we bought a shop and opened a huge shop in our hometown, which is called Nutscene Co. And so there's a few of my suppliers here. So I wanted to speak to them and have a look at. So we're buying from other companies who are
lovely.
here.
Oh, okay. And has anything special caught your eye that you might think about?
I like the Feverfew gloves because I've read about her. So I've gone there and had a chat. So we're going to stock those.
Oh, wonderful.
We like seed ball. We stock that. So there's a few of our suppliers here as well. So it's good. But the show seems to be, I like all the little stands that they've got.
Yeah.
And I think, a lot of people are happy with that because there's lots of new companies here.
There's lots of new companies
we just
this
had
year.
Matt Meehan on, who's the show director.
Yeah.
And he was saying that 156 new businesses showing this year.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Yeah.
Big number.
Yeah. I think it's... People want to get back out there and look, touch, see. Yeah. They want to be involved in that. We've had a long period. We've had a long period of no contact with the outside world. And actually the networking that's going on is really interesting at the moment, because we've been talking to two companies who are getting information from each other about possible distributors in the US and getting help, new businesses. And that's important as well, that networking.
Yeah, absolutely. We've said on this podcast, and lots of our guests have been saying that actually within the industry, there's a lot of collaboration between people. Networking is really tight. It's a very close-knit community within the industry, which is great to see.
And people tend to be really helpful as well and friendly. Yeah. Wonderful.
One thing which we've not asked you, which before we finish, and that is just whether you've brought any new products out which you're showcasing at Glee this year.
I think we've changed. We've increased our offer. So we've got more colours to offer. We have changed packaging in a lot of our products as well to make them more appealing to consumers and a bit more information about our product. But I think, again, it's important to get feedback from customers about things that you might consider doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people, our product can be quite hard to display in garden centres in particular, and they question, where does your product sit? Is it gift? Is it gardening? And I said, no, it's unique. So it requires to be at the till point, obviously.
Of course.
It makes us think, right, okay, so how can we make this easier for customers to say, yes, I want this. I want this in stock. Send me this deal. But they can display it. You've got to make an impact with the display. That will be lost otherwise. Yeah. So
some merchandising
there's a learning thing going on as well, obviously. You're getting feedback from customers, and that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have to say, thank you so much for coming to see us, Shona. I know it's been really busy and you managed to fit us in. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And just wish you all the best for the rest of the show.
Yeah, and beautiful product.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.